Morning, everyone. It is Monday, March the 23rd, and here are the headlines for today. I wanted to start off by talking about Boston. We have some light snow moving through early this morning, and that'll be exiting by the afternoon. As far as accumulations, we're looking at very low end accumulations, less than an inch in and around the Boston area. And in the city, probably next to nothing. Now, look at the animation loop here early this morning. We can see the rain exits the region around 11 o'clock. And by the afternoon, especially, we're talking about primarily some wraparound snow shower activity across the Northeast. However, if you live in Charleston, South Carolina, and Savannah, Georgia, you'll be seeing some thunderstorms this afternoon. Now, I would point your attention to Wilmington, North Carolina, down to Charleston, South Carolina, Savannah, Georgia, that area. Highlighting that for you guys here on the map. Basically, from about 3 p.m. this afternoon to maybe 9 p.m. tomorrow night, we'll have a chance of showers and thunderstorms moving through this region. Now, I did want to highlight there is a severe weather potential here in South Carolina and Georgia. Right now, there's a 2% chance of a tornado taking place. The primary threat here will be high winds and small hail. Now, watch what happens when this front passes through the Northeast and the Midwest. We're going to see those temperatures really take a tumble. Again, highs were in the 80s in the mid-Atlantic during the day Sunday. Those temperatures are really dropping during the day Monday and especially during the day Tuesday. Morning lows on Tuesday in, let's say, the mid-Atlantic region up near DC will be below freezing. Meanwhile, over the west, temperatures continue to be warm as a ridge is still in place. And look for this to kind of build back during the days Wednesday and Thursday this week. Now, generally speaking, the ridge is going to hold in place basically across southern Oregon, across the Rocky Mountains, and into the southern plains throughout the week. And we'll likely have above normal temperatures here continuing at least through Thursday, Friday, perhaps even into Saturday before the next frontal system moves into the Midwest. The next thing I want you to notice here is how the jet stream really takes a dive into the Northeast as we head into next weekend. So around that time frame, right, probably between Friday night and Sunday, we'll have additional chances of showers and thunderstorms. We'll have two main areas of rainfall. First, over here in the east, right, during the day Monday. I kind of highlight that for you in green here on the map. But we'll also have another area that forms over Washington State and Oregon, especially as we get into the day Tuesday. So that's really our second event there that's moving on shore. And watch what happens here as we move throughout the week. That area of rainfall begins to reform as we get into the northern Great Plains, diving into the Midwest with that trough, right, as that dives into the mid Atlantic as we head into next weekend. In fact, the best chance for heavy rain this week will be in the Olympics and also the Cascades of both Washington State and Oregon State. Now, generally speaking, we're looking at maybe a quarter inch to a half an inch of rain in the cities of Seattle and then also Portland, Oregon. We could see maybe a quarter inch to as much as a half an inch there. I would expect the higher amounts of rain further to the north here, though. If you live, let's say, in the mountain passes of the northern Cascades or towards the coastline of Washington state, those areas will likely pick up the most rain this week. Now, besides those two storm systems that we mentioned this week, there will be some temperature changes that occur throughout the week. Not only in the east, right, where we're talking about the cold air moving in during Tuesday, Wednesday timeframe, but we'll have a building back of the heat in the southern plains as we move into Wednesday, Thursday timeframe before the next frontal system moves in during Friday into Saturday. And one thing that I want to point out here is that when that second wave pushes into Texas, which it will, you'll notice that there's some western progression of the cooler air, perhaps into New Mexico, perhaps even into Arizona. So we won't see the 100-degree temperatures perhaps as we get into next weekend in a place like Phoenix, Arizona. Now, guys, I do want to mention that during the day Sunday, we saw severe weather over the Midwest and parts of the Northeast. And of course, that dives southward into the Appalachians, giving us the severe weather that we're seeing in the Southeast. Now, that's a part of that trough feature that's moving into the Northeast this morning. We're going to see that again next weekend. And ahead of that, we'll likely see another line of severe thunderstorms. So just be prepared for that if you are traveling next weekend. That's going to likely be the biggest weather threat over the next 7 days. Well, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like or subscribe. It really helps the channel. Also, hit that bell icon. That will alert you to any future video that I put on the channel. And if you have any questions, leave those down in the comments below. I hope to see you guys for the next video on Thursday. Bye for now.